We're taking our first look at an Aegis Tanto from SOG. This is a fairly large folding knife. It uses SOG assisted technology. What that means is once you initiate the opening of the blade, some spring tension is going to take over and lock the blade into place for you. Makes it very fast to open, but it also makes it very safe to open. There's no button to push. It's not a switch blade. It's using the momentum of your blade to complete the swing and lock into place. But what that does is it means you don't have to shake your wrist or do any kind of flip or anything. It just opens and you have a secure hold on the knife the whole time. It also does it in a safe way. There's very little chance that your fingers are going to get in the way of the blade because you've initiated the opening. It uses a very strong lock. Think of it as similar to a switch here, similar to their arc lock. You'll see that it's in the open position. Once I flip the blade open, it flips to the closed position and now it's locked. So if I want to close the blade, I pull back on that lock. It's under spring tension. I pull back on that lock and I'm able to then move the blade back into the handle, and my fingers are at no time in front of the path of the blade. So it's very safe to open, very safe to close one-handed. What's nice about this is it's also very easy to use with your offhand. It's ambidextrous, of course. It's got the thumb studs on both sides of the blade, and the lock is very easy to use with both hands. But what I mean is that you don't have to be real dexterous in your other hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm less coordinated with my left hand, but I'm still able to real easily open. Again, I don't have to twist or flip or do anything. I'm able to easily open it, and I'm easily able to disengage the lock and pull the blade closed one-handed without a lot of thinking about it. I think that's real handy for a utility knife. Of course, it's handy for a tactical knife, so it's a good all-around knife. As I mentioned, it's fairly large. Taking a look at some of its technical specs, it's about 8¼ inches long overall. That's, it's just over 8 inches. Of course, on the SOGs, the belt clip comes back a ways from the end of the knife. The blade alone is about 3½ inches. This one is serrated. It's got the TINI finish, which is not quite a matte finish, but it's a deep black, blue type of finish. Really neat. And it's got the Zytel handles, and the design on these is something that before I had them in my hand, I just thought they were doing it to look, to kind of set their look apart. But now that I'm holding on to it and using the knife and manipulating it, I see that these little design elements are really genius. They're there for a reason. They're raised just enough and they're in just the right position to grip onto the skin, or a glove, I imagine, when you're holding on to it. Some of these serrations, they're aggressive. I don't want to call them abusive, but they're aggressive. I mean, you're got a hold on this knife. You don't have to worry about it slipping. So I'm really impressed with its ergonomics, with its design. The materials and its craftsmanship are top-notch as well. It's not the most inexpensive knife. On the website it retails for $110, but again, this isn't a cheap knife either. I don't think it's overpriced at all. I think it's definitely worth every penny from what I've seen of it so far. Very well built, good construction. Nothing about this has me scratching my head as to why they're charging that. I think it's definitely fairly priced. Some more of the features. I'm looking at the belt clip here. It's set up for the right hand, but if you want to switch it over to your left hand, it's fairly simple. You just grab the right Allen wrench and spin that screw out of there, and then pull the belt clip out, flip it around to the other side, and you'll notice that it's got sort of a step shape there. Again, they designed these well, and there's no play at all. When you put this back into the slot there, well, it's not screwed in right now, but there's going to be no play at all. Now there's a hole there because you should put the screw back in from the same side. So you just go right through the belt clip and set that screw back to where it was. Once it's in place though, again, the shape, the design of this belt clip allows it to stay very sturdy. And now it's set up for the left hand, and no real difference there. Real easy to use. And again, it's still easy to use with the right. One last feature, once it's in your pocket, so that you don't have any risk of it opening on its own, not that it has much incentive to, but I guess if a set of keys were to catch the thumb screw or something and you were concerned about it opening, then there's a safety lock right here. and it's real easy to engage and disengage. So far, again, we haven't used this for a long time yet, but in the time we've been passing around and playing with it, no one has accidentally locked it or accidentally unlocked it, so it seems to be subtle enough to be out of the way, yet pronounced enough to be easily flipped back and forth. So now that it's open again, the knife will just open, and again you can close it real easily. If for some reason you just wanted to close it like this, you can. If you wanted to open it like this, you sure can. If you don't want to make it look like a switchblade in front of somebody, there's nothing stopping the knife from just opening. You don't have to push any buttons or do anything. Again, it's a really impressive knife. I like the SAT. I like that SOG assisted opening. Really like the blade shape. I like the size of this knife. There's really not a lot I don't like about this one. I can't wait to get it out. Assuming I get to be the one to test it first. I can't wait to get it out and see what it can actually do. I'm real eager to poke that into something. Maybe a telephone book, see how deep it'll go. I'm guessing there's probably some other videos doing that already, but something to be said for being able to stab something like this into a phone book yourself. So, real interesting design. I think this has turned out really well. Again, this is our first look at it, but once we get it out and play with it a little bit, I think we're going to be impressed with it. Its balance point is just about where the hinge is for the blade and the handle. Taking a look at what it comes with, basically this handout with some information about their other types of tools and their other knife models. Not a lot of frill though, just some information about the company, the kind of stuff they sell, their technology, and then the cardboard box. You're buying a knife from them, you're not buying a bunch of extra packaging, and I don't have any problem with that. They get down to business and you're buying a knife from them. Taking a look at some of the stuff on the website about the Aegis. They come in a couple of different styles, meant to be held in different ways. That's that safety on the handle. They do make them in a couple of other styles. Such as this one with a different shaped blade. Doesn't seem like any weak points on it. I guess if I had to pick out one thing that I would change about it, I like to put a lanyard on my knives, so there's no hole for a lanyard. Very, very minor point, but really that's about the only thing I could, recommend a difference about this one. Now this one's not the most inexpensive knife out there. It's $110, but I don't mean to say that it's low quality. I don't think this knife is overpriced at all. Definitely seems worth the money from my first impressions here. Again, the quality, the materials, the workmanship, and the design, everything about this just top notch.